this brings also the challenges as humanity, how are we really ready to shift and to shift this human consciousness? It's really like stepping back, looking and saying, okay, I want to engage differently with my life, with others, and with the nature around me. And how do we become, again, stewards everywhere we go to say, what is my impact? What is my impact where I'm going? How can I contribute to the well-being of the people and of the place everywhere I go?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Regina Valdez, and I am with the Climate Emergency Forum, and I am very happy to welcome here with us today Aude Péronne. The name of our program is Ecosystem Restoration Communities Update. Aude is a global presenter of the ecosystem restoration movement. Since 2004, Aude has been engaged in ecosystem restoration, permaculture, and community building, and bridges both to approach regenerative development and systems thinking design strategies. She advocates for earth and water stewardship, as well as people's well-being. Aude facilitates the emergence of cohesive collaborative laboratories globally and locally to empower and connect people from all over the world willing to engage in building solutions towards our common aspirations and needs as stewards of our planet. And I can't think of anything more important in this time in our history than teaching, cultivating, encouraging people to be stewards of the planet and their communities. So it's very important work that you do, Aude, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing what you have to share with us today.
Thank you, Regina, for this warm welcoming. So I'll just start sharing a video of the Ecosystem Restoration Communities movement, showcasing how ecosystem restoration and community building can be brought together everywhere around the world, and how it can be adapted depending to the place and depending to the culture.
Namaste.
Bonjour.
Shalom.
Hi.
Bonjour.
Hi.
Jambo.
Hi.
We are Ecosystem Restoration Camps. We're a global group that is fighting poverty, climate change, species extinction, and desertification through restoring degraded landscapes all around the world.
I am the camp coordinator at Camp Kheti, India. At Camp Mama Adama.
Camp Vieux Soleil in Aja, France.
Camp Mombasa Mangrove Forest.
Habiba Camp is based in Egypt.
In Somalia.
In Brazil.
Over the past decades, we have learned that ecosystem restoration is a powerful tool to mitigate these crises. Restoring degraded ecosystems returns life and restores livelihoods. Restoring degraded ecosystems and introducing regenerative practices requires an expert-designed plan, local leadership, and people to join in to do the work. Ecosystem restoration camps are exactly these places where experts, leaders, and people get together to plan and then execute that plan. In 2016, we established the first ecosystem restoration camp in Spain. We now support 37 camps in 26 countries across 6 continents. Our goal is to have 1 million people come together by 2030 to reverse ecological destruction and restore biodiversity in 100 camps around the world. The ecosystem restoration camps are collaborative living labs where local people and international volunteers, or campers, not only take on restoration, but also innovate, learn from their practices and refine them, and share their learnings with the world. These local living labs collectively form a large, global living lab that is contributing to a global knowledge base on how to create abundant and thriving regenerative practices. The camps are developing the proof of concept in local landscapes that will inspire and attract all who live there to join the worldwide effort to restore ecosystems and introduce regenerative practices that will make it possible for humanity to survive on this planet. The camps are also places where everyday people can go to learn about restoration and make a positive impact by physically taking part in bringing land back to life. Camps provide a meaningful, empowering experience that changes the way participants see their relationship with Earth. It is this changed attitude of people, as they start to see themselves as part of nature and not separate from it, that will enable a personal transformation and build a strong foundation for our sustainable success. This year, the United Nations Decade on Ecosystem Restoration starts. It shows how governments, civil society, and companies around the world are going to dedicate their resources to restoring degraded ecosystems and introducing the regenerative practices that will keep our planet alive and humanity thriving. Ecosystem restoration camps are partners to this process around the world. We provide the physical places where all stakeholders can come together, take ownership of the problems they face, and get to work. Our camp movement is growing to hundreds in the next few years, supported by an impressive group of experts and advisors and integrated into a global IT platform that matches knowledge, expertise, and labor to the places where they are needed. We are open to all. Join us and help us create a world you want to live in.
That was so beautiful, Aude. Thank you so much for sharing that opening teaser with us, and I look forward to hearing your experience with the Ecosystem Restoration Project.
Thank you. So basically, we can see nowadays how many people around the world are committing to really, from the grassroots, giving solution and giving solution as being active for enhancing this large-scale ecosystem restoration and climate regulation. If we have people from all over the world activating communities and doing the work, this can have a huge impact, and it's already happening. In the video, they were saying 37 camps, but now it's 60 already. And so it's spreading very quickly. And we just attend people that are calling from everywhere around the world, saying, we want to become part of this movement. So from people that have lands, from people that find pieces of land, from people that have government helping them, supporting them, giving them land, and other people that are experts and want to participate in the development of those projects, from people and individuals that are saying, we want to be part, and what we are doing with John D. Liu is bringing those people together to help the project develop and to help the already existing developed projects to have a bigger impact in their region, in the bioregion, and help upscale their results. So basically, the people that we make that choice, we commit to be earth and water stewards, as changing also the paradigm we want to live in, and a paradigm that's based on taking care of ourselves, taking care of nature, and how we can show how we human beings can have a positive impact also in this world, and how we can live in harmony with nature and amongst ourselves and among the cultures as well. So basically, we need to revisit the pillars of our lives. The ecological aspect, how do we want to regulate the climate? How do we make that happen? How we recreate value around economy? How do we value what we do? How do we first put our intentions, and after that, bring the economy that comes in, but not looking from an economical aspect, but first on the value that we want to bring to that planet. on the human level and on the ecological level as well. And politically, how do we engage as we do and we showcase the solution that can be done so we can make the policy evolve as well? Showcasing, showing, hey, there are so many solutions on the ground. There are so many people that are already implementing real solutions, and how we can fit the policy making from what's already being done. And socially, basically, we're talking about peace, how to recreate peace within ourselves and within the people we meet. And this global movement, to me, is a reconciliation path as well in between cultures that we've been separated. And now, how can we relearn to grow together, to grow food together, to attend the needs of everyone together? And how can we also recreate streams of collaboration and cooperation between the global north and the global south that are more equals, you know, as a humanity, as a whole humanity? So something very important as well is that, of course, this has to be adapted to each place. Each culture, each tradition, from our perspective, needs to be respected and expressed. And so all that we do is from people calling us, saying we want to be part, and we listen to the needs. We listen to their needs, we listen to this place. I personally travel to those places to look, to observe, and interact with what I collect from what's happening on the ground. And that's those voices that we want to help express. So again, that's really interesting approach to nourish the global frameworks that sometimes miss that really specific aspect and those very specific conditions that every place, every culture, every tradition holds. So it's about showing up the diversity of this work and the richness of the world, right? And there's so many ways to express the same thing, and it can be done so differently. So we also want to show that. So we call for big participation and mass collaboration. That's only a way we can really upscale our impact on the ground. How do we design our lives together again? And how do we put our ideas together? How do we listen and bring together what is already existing? Again, there's a lot out there. So we don't need to reinvent anything. We just need to help express what's already there so that it can be spread much more. So we call to collaboration, and that's also a big personal work to say we know things, but there's a lot of unknown as well in what we are doing. And in the world we live today, I think that's more and more important to take into account. There are more and more challenges, more and more unexpected events happening, so the unknown needs to be also seen and recognized. And something very central in what we do is how we look at our commons again together. Our society has become more individualized. So the infrastructure we use as humans should be at service of nature and at service of our basic needs as well. So we call that the social infrastructure that are needed to together reorganize ourselves, taking care of the resources we have. So this is based on shared leadership, shared responsibilities, and the care of the commons, and also a shared ownership. How can we, again, share that? And I work a lot in the Global South, and I learn every day from many communities in the Global South that still have this very strongly in their culture. Like, how do we share what we have? And how we can just have a better impact with lower resources. So we invite to create co-working environments, creator spaces, studio, we want art expressions also, community kitchens, communal gardens, cultural stages, health and well-being sanctuaries, regenerative business and markets within those systems. How can we share facilities, generally speaking, water, electricity, and how do we bring educational campuses into those places as well? So again, we don't reinvent everything. If you look at every village, every city that has been organized this way, but how can we reorganize that even more strategically in the way we use resources, basically? And so for us in that movement, and in this almost 20 years now that I have been traveling and meeting different communities around the world, I realize how intrinsically linked is peace and ecosystem restoration, in the sense of there's so many people around the world looking what's happening around and saying, we want to create another reality, and that's possible. We want to create another reality to feel safe in this planet, to take care of each other differently, and to take care of nature differently. So this is really like goes together from my perspective as well. Also, like some really important tools for us is education, knowledge, and sharing what exists. There's so much out there we don't even know. So our work a lot is to gather also all that knowledge and spread it and make it more accessible. That's also very fundamental. And then talking about it as we are doing today. How can we spread those messages? And we believe also in the power of media in that sense. So again, this also requires a paradigm shift in which we place ourselves in a long-term perspective. There's to my point of view, a lack of design on a long term. There are quick solutions that we need to take as well. There are things that needs to be taken now when there is climate disasters. Of course, we need to be active very quickly, but on the back end of it, how can we really structure a long-term approach? And in this, what is important to us is how we can feedback ourselves on what we are doing all the time. Again and again, coming back to, okay, what's going well and what's not going well? How can we make it better also? So this brings also the challenges as humanity, you know, how are we really ready to shift and to shift this human consciousness? It's really like stepping back, looking and saying, okay, I want to engage differently with my life, with others, and with the nature around me. And how do we become, again, stewards everywhere we go to say, what is my impact? What is my impact where I'm going? How can I contribute to the well-being of the people and of the place everywhere I go? So those hubs, they are like acupuncture points in the planet where we try to, reactivate another energy somehow. And it's not only an energetical, because it's really physical as well, but it's saying, okay, we want to spread new messages from those places. Yeah, and earth and water stewardship. I think that is, to me, very fundamental. We forget. We are stepping that soil every day, We are all of us. And so we belong to that. And somehow we have a responsibility to attend that. Do you all know where the water from your tap is coming? Where is the water that we are drinking coming from? I realized myself I had forgotten about that. Where is the water? How do we take care of that water? And I want to speak today a lot about water because this is a real issue right now. And as we restore ecosystem, we can restore the flow of water. We can recharge our aquifers. And that's real. We've been implementing it. And we can not only recharge our aquifers, but as we restore and we take care of the practices that we do, we have clean and pure water. And we know that's possible. The quality of the water, the quality of the food, the way we grow, the way we take care of our soils, and how we spread that, and how we engage. Creating communities is not only creating a space for ourselves, it's taking the responsibility to inspire the other one around us, and to show example on how can we provide a better future, how can we provide better outcomes, how could we provide health just by the way we cultivate. basically that's, for now, what I would share.
Thank you so much. I remember when I first heard John Liu talking about this project, my first thought was, I want to sign up. This is so exciting. I want to be a part of restoring the land, restoring the earth. One of the things that I'm realizing as you were speaking is that, of course, it's very important to restore water, very important to restore the earth, and of course, protect species. But in terms of restoration, it seems like a lot of this work is restoring the land, but also restoring something that's been lost in humanity. And I'm wondering if you can speak to maybe what you've seen this do for others, or even for yourself in terms of engaging in this work.
Yeah, so for me personally, it's like I feel in these 20 years I've been growing huge resources. I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about resources. Like resources and psychological support, emotional support, going to workshop, going to really high-level trainings, going all of that because there is a community of trust and there's an engagement that in the common of everyone as well. So suddenly you get access to a huge web of resources, you know? It's just like, for me, that's also the way we share. We again say, okay, let's share what we have. This hasn't necessarily have to go through the economical channels. There's so many ways to share and to create resources together. So that brings a lot of resilience as well to our lives. So it brings a lot of security. It's another type of security than the ones that we are used to it in this more the society it is now. But it's so resilient because the day something happened, you realize you have everything you need. I remember when COVID hit, I was in an ecosystem restoration project. We were 20 of us, people from all over the world that had come to volunteers, local people, and we were stuck suddenly all together. We didn't know how long we would be there all together. And it's been an amazing journey. And during that, I realized I don't feel threatened in that moment, in that so difficult moment where everyone was just like, what are we doing? What are we gonna do? I felt, wow, I'm safe here. And we just keep going on. And every day we were planting trees and we were taking care of our land and we were eating in community. We were like making food in community. And I realized, wow, if something big happened, I'm okay. And I want many more people to feel okay.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I have to say, I spent the beginning portion of COVID locked up in my small apartment in New York City, so I definitely envy your experience. It sounds quite amazing. One of the things I wonder with these projects, these restoration projects, is this, for those in the audience who might be interested, is this something that anyone can come and do? Is it something that they need to live within the vicinity? How does that work?
Yeah, very good question. I was also thinking about that. Sometimes I have a lot that feedback. We think if I don't know how to plant trees or to grow food, I cannot be part of that. But actually, there is a wide range of action and jobs and possibilities that can come around. It's very diverse because it's recreating places where we actually want to live from our passion. Everyone has a different passion. It's just how do we put our passions at service of this? So we need diversities. We need diversities of skills in that. So who can be part? Everyone really willing to share that same intention. If you have a land, start with a little land. If you don't have land, start with show a little piece of land, you know, where you can start growing something. And if you have some kind of expertise, go connect with one of those camps and bring your expertise to them. I know what it is to lead such projects. We need help. We need support. We need other people spread communities around it.
Thank you. And also, how do you choose the places to be restored? Is it something that you choose? Is it something that other people choose? how do you decide what to work on?
I would say it depends. On our side, we attend people from all over the world that have land, and that's where it's being done. It's like, okay, we have that amount of land, no matter how much is it, let's do it. And then we are also identifying bigger strategic points around the world that could really help regulate the climate. Like, where are the places that are really fundamental in the world that really need to be attended right now? So we are doing these two things in parallel.
That's wonderful. I'm wondering also, do you have a website where people can find more information?
So for this specific network called Ecosystem Restoration Communities, just type Ecosystem Restoration Communities online, you will find the website, and there is a lot of very valuable information on YouTube as well, where you have every camp coordinators from everywhere around the world presenting the projects. You can see that and listen from them and listen from all they are called fireside chats, and those ones are really good. You can just get in touch with all of them.
Thank you so much. I have to say, in a climate conference where we so often hear the necessary information of everything that has gone wrong and that we've done wrong to harm the planet, it's really, really so refreshing to see you and this wonderful organization that is working so assiduously to bring about something good on the planet, something that people can actually do that's positive. So I really want to thank you so much for your work and for being here with us today and sharing it with us. And with that, I'd also like to thank the Climate Emergency Forum for this program, and also Sustainable Population Australia for making this possible. And of course, once again, for all of you for being here. Thank you so much.